There's always so much going on in the plant-based industry, which is why an event like Plant-Based World is so important to really keep up with all of those different trends as they evolve. Personally, the thing that excites me the most at the moment is the progressive move towards whole foods, plant-based products. We're really seeing the interest in creating like-for-like meat alternatives sort of steadily move away from that and really embrace the nutritional benefits of plant-based products. Although it's something that some people will argue and dispute that it's not technically plant-based, I think that some of the progress we've been seeing happening with cell-based food technologies are going to have huge implications in terms of taste, texture and application of plant-based products moving forward. So personally, something I find really exciting is the developments in creating casein without dairy. The potential for that and the application with something that most people see as a barrier being cheese is huge, because if you can really embrace those technologies and create something that's meltable, has the mouthfeel and can work in a kitchen exactly the same as cheese, then it's gonna break the mold, really. As somebody who's worked in this industry for their entire career, I've really seen the way that vegan products and plant-based products sort of started out in a very niche sense and have been pushed into the mainstream. And that's a result of the success of the growth of this industry. And I've been reflecting on it a lot recently of then why do we need an 100% plant-based trade show if these products are truly mainstream? And to argue against that, I think that these products, they need to have a show of their own to really focus on what's possible with this industry. I would argue that the plant-based space is the most innovative, food sector, if you like. It's where the most progress is happening, and it's where the most potential is for really making an impact on some of the huge crises we face on our planet today, from climate change to poverty and overpopulation, like how are we going to feed everybody, food security, water use. There's so many things that could be impacted positively by a transition or embracing more of a plant-based diet in the way that we eat and feed the world. And although we are in the mainstream, technically, there's still so much work to be done from the manufacturing side of improving the products, which has been happening at a huge, very quick pace. The progress is dizzying, which is why we need to have an annual trade show in New York and in London to really represent that progress. So we really offer a platform not only for those products to shine and to really focus in on the USPs of those and what they can do for your business, but we also create a conversation. We create a space to talk about how we can push this industry forward through our conference and our other content at the show. And we bring together people who are really looking to impact that sort of change in the world. And that's why it's so important that we're doing this. I would argue that companies in the plant-based sector are some of the most mindful when it comes to ESG and how their business really interacts with the space that they consume, be it their community, be it the sector that they work in or where they sell their products. But I think something that is sort of missing is they focus too much on the material. It's easy to think about packaging, to think about how you're shipping your product and how you power your factories. There's some really simple things to make changes, and if you do those, great. But I think there's a step further that we can take as an industry, which is to really focus on the educational piece. And this may be the missing link of why some consumers are maybe tapping into plant-based products, but then making other choices when it comes to the crunch and they're being squeezed financially. And I think educating consumers on the why should they be buying plant-based products, the benefit that they can do, and really there's no one single person who can be doing this education piece. I think it falls to everybody to do their part. If you have a platform and you have customers that you engage with regularly, make sure that it comes through in your messaging, like the benefits of what they're actually buying into. And it's more than a pizza or a burger or a cheese or a milk. They're buying into the promise of a different food system, because that is ultimately what plant-based can offer. So really look back at your marketing messaging and make sure that you're doing some education in your communication, and thinking about how that can really help your customers make a deeper connection with you. There's been so much speculation on what's next for the plant-based industry, and if you were to believe certain Bloomberg reporters, that future looks quite bleak. If you look at the sales data, that future looks very optimistic. And if you come to Plant-Based World, you can actually see what's possible. I think that it's really easy to get consumed by some of the rhetoric out there, but what's missing from that conversation is the fact that we are an industry that is growing at a huge pace. There is always correction when you are in an industry growing at the size and speed that the plant-based sector is growing in. But when you look at the developments coming out of different companies in terms of their innovation, if you look at the growing demand in terms of food service and in retail as well, and you look at the places that haven't even been touched yet by plant-based options, there's so many areas in the supermarket where plant-based options are missing, and there's still a lot of blue zone space to fill. So there is a lot coming up for the industry, a lot of really exciting opportunities, and make sure you're at Plant-Based World to see exactly what they are and be a part of them.